Hello guys. Sort of a long, not long, but a sort of a video which is not related to fitness itself. But I wanted to make this video for some time now, maybe a couple of minutes, and now I am making this video is about consciousness. And I have been watching a lot of content lately about people telling that the consciousness was a mistake of universe. The consciousness should not be the way it is right now. The consciousness should be limited to for the survival. Now it has expanded a little too much. I'm going to discuss a few things with you right now. Understand this. I'm going to tell you some things and then I'll connect those later on, like those road will meet again some point in the video later on. So have you heard this point that the mind is the greatest tool human possess? Have you heard that? I'm pretty sure at some point in your life you have heard this line that the mind is the greatest tool we human possess. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Look at it like this. Alright. Our PFC, sort of the one who makes the decisions, the one who is the logical one, is the driver, and the consciousness is the king, or the one who is being traveled. So look at it like this. You have heard about Mahabharata, where on the chariot, the Lord Krishna was the charioteer, or the one who drives the chariot, and the Arjun was the warrior who was supposed to fight. So PFC is our Lord Krishna, and we are Arjun, and we being consciousness. Right, look at it like this for a while. I don't think it was particularly useful to use it in a way I did, but I just wanted to express the importance of the charioteer, the driver here. Alright. Second point, like remember these points, I'll join them later. Second point, have you heard about that? Have you watched that video where the ant is A-N-T, like the insect is walking somewhere, and someone draw a circle around it, right, with a black marker, right, and then that insect is not able to cross that because it thinks that there is a certain boundary and he will not be able to cross that line, right? You remember that, right? I hope you have watched that video, but if you have not, I've just told you, right? And third thing that I will tell you is that suffering is the cloth which is used to clear the dirt of the mirror of consciousness. Alright, I'll repeat it again. The suffering is the cloth which is used to remove the dirt of the mirror called consciousness. Alright, now let's join these things now. Why am I yapping about these things? Like, this doesn't make any sense, right? But understand this, guys. As we grew, as the human evolved, as I gave the example of ant, now the ant doesn't have the PFC strong enough for it to understand that the line that the human drew was not a boundary and it can cross it, right? The ant doesn't know this because it doesn't have the PFC strong enough for it to know that we can cross this boundary. But We humans too, guys. We humans too. As we grew, as we evolved, our PFC evolved as well. And you see, as the PFC grew strong, we were able to cross the limits that our body said that we could not. You know those time where your Navy SEALs, right? Navy SEALs and soldiers, or not only soldiers, many times, people going to moon, right? Creatures of the universe, of the earth, are going outside to the other planet, right? This all require for us to break limits. This all require a mindset where we know that this feels hard. Every cell of our body is telling us to not move forward at all. Please don't move forward. I can't go forward. We can't tolerate this pain anymore. We can't move forward at all. But your PFC is strong enough and it says, let's move forward. Right? Now understand this, guys. Don't you find this interesting that our entire being is telling us to not move forward, but our PFC, a part of our brain, a part of this very biology, is rejecting the biology itself and moving forward during the whatever the hard session is. I'm going to connect all of this, guys. Like, please be patient right now. All right. Now people say we are becoming too conscious. This is the reason the consciousness itself have evolved, and this is the reason we are trying to find the enlightenment itself, and this is the reason that people and sages have found enlightenment. See, our consciousness is making a journey, right? And then it is like an ant, right? The consciousness is there in the ant as well, right? But the thing is, the driver of the consciousness is not there in that ant. And when she encounters the marker, she thinks that she can't cross it. But we have our PFC, and because of it we are able to cross that imaginary line. And now the consciousness is moving with our body. The consciousness is going places where our biology restricted us to go. Like, I don't think our biology meant us to go to exoplanets and moon and fucking like marathons and David Goggins and things like this. But the consciousness itself is now watching and exploring like it should. Now the reason is, when we are going forward, when we are moving forward through the things that hurt, we suffer, right? And then we suffer, and that suffering itself is the cloth which removes the dirt of limitations. This is the dirt on the consciousness itself. This is the perceived limits, and the suffering removes it. We all are afraid of suffering, but the thing is that suffering is the greatest thing that can happen to us, guys, because suffering is that cloth that once we get past through the suffering, we enter to a whole new world. Like, you think that you can't run a marathon, and then you do, and then you go to the other side of your being where you have ran a marathon, and then you have conquered that path, and there was a lot of suffering, but that suffering at the end has removed the doubt that you could not run a marathon. And this is how the consciousness itself is evolving. Guys, this is what karma is. Understand this. This is what karma is, guys. When you go through things and you pass through things, you surrender to the suffering itself, you allow it to pass it through you and clean the doubts of your consciousness of the doubts of you are limited in some way. Now people say that the consciousness being involved, like we being very conscious, is a mistake, but guys, like, we have a blessing of PFC, because of which the consciousness can explore more. This is not a mistake that humans have become too conscious. Rather, it is a blessing that we are the medium. We humans are the medium, and we have the PFC, which is in our control, which can train, and we are the charioteers, and in us, this is so like intricate and nuanced. So when I'm saying right now, when I said we, I said in terms of body, right? In terms of mind. So when I say that, when I'm saying we are, I'm saying like we have PFC, right? When I'm saying this from the point of view of the body right now, right? What we actually are, we are the consciousness, guys. We are the one who is being traveled through the space and time using this body. We are using this body. But the thing is that consciousness can't talk. Even when I'm saying this is the body who is talking, but PFC understands this stuff, because PFC, see, there are layers to this, right? We will discuss this sometime later. Even I am somehow, it is so nuanced that it is like a very thin veins in our brain, and we can get like confused very easily. So I'm just going to say this, that the PFC is used for the consciousness to travel to places where it cannot travel through other animals, right? I'm pretty sure like no one is watching this shit right now, and there is more to it, guys, and I might have confused other people, because I have a little bit confused myself as well, because of the explanation that I did right now about Ms. Body being the PFC from the standpoint of PFC, and then the reality is we are the consciousness. So understand this, guys, like the consciousness itself is not bad for humans. Like we have become too conscious, and we should not have become too conscious. Like this is a myth, guys. The consciousness is going places, and we are the medium of it. Welcome it, surrender through it. Use the suffering to clear off the dust of limits through your mind. Let the consciousness explore the unexplored. Alright, guys, I love you all.